Hi, this is Beverly. Two as one forever. A better you, a better marriage. I wanted to talk to you today regarding feelings. I always say that marriage is colorful. And when we think about colors, we can also associate those with feelings. What does colors mean? How do they relate as far as how we're feeling? Such as what is it to be calm? That's that beautiful sky blue color. What is it to be stressed? That puts us in a red zone. What is it to be excited? That puts us in a place of energy. That's actually considered like a taupey neutral type color. Being optimistic and delighted and happy, those put us in a zone of green, vibrant growth. And sometimes we want to look at those things and how it is affecting our marriages. When we decide to be, because everything is a choice, when we decide that we're going to bring stress to the marriage, anger, whether we're going to be in a place of contentment, a place of happiness and being delighted, what is that doing for your marriage? Because when you're delighted, when you're happy, that's going to put you in a place where you can overcome, you're willing to do more, you're willing to go the extra mile. But when you allow yourself to go into that place of anxious and angry, stressed, being fearful, it puts us in a place of not showing up with confidence in our own marriage, because those are things that tear us down. Those are things that will stop you from going forward. We want to make the daily choice of being content, satisfied, delighted. Now, that doesn't mean that everything throughout the day is going to um, be okay, it's going to turn out correct. But it does mean that you have a choice in how you're going to manage it, how the outcome is going to be for you personally. Yes, life is going to happen. Upsets are going to happen. There are going to be those days or times where there's sadness. But even within the sadness, there can be content, there can be delightness. You can be optimistic on what that sadness has given. Because what your feelings are, it affects your marriage. And when it affects the marriage, we want it to be a place of easiness, cheerfulness, happiness, being optimistic, being satisfied, being a place of serenity, being pleased with yourself. We have a tendency where we want to point fingers and say, well, I keep doing it. I do my part. I'm bringing my 50-50. What about my spouse? And what I say to you to that is let go of the 50-50 and bring your 100. You are not able to dictate what your spouse is going to do or say, how they're going to react or respond. But you can make that determination for yourself, because marriage is a one plus one that equals one. You know, What God has joined together, let no man put asunder. There's a oneness in that. Even when we make sure that we include God in the equation, you know that three-stranded cord, when it's braided together, it's one cord. Your spouse, you, God, because whatever you do as far as having a stronger marriage, you want to make sure that God is in the equation because he is the author and the finisher of marriage. We just kind of get in there and we tweak things the way we think that they should be or the way we want them to be. We always want things to be in our favor. And marriage isn't that. Marriage is compromise. Marriage is forgiveness. Marriage is bringing your calmness and your happiness and in your serenity to the table. You know, if nothing else, teach. Be the teacher in your marriage. You know, you're going to feel that I keep doing it all the time. I'm the only one that's bringing it to the table. But maybe your spouse doesn't know how. Maybe they haven't um, been able to overcome that yet. And if you feel that you have, then you bring it to the table. You show up. Show up with your gentleness, your kindness. Show up with your meekness, your forgiveness, your joy. Show up with your self control, your patience. You know, that patience, waiting without murmuring and complaining. That's what's needed in marriage. We want to do things our way, but when we find out how to do things the correct way, God's way, then we'll find ourselves doing things that's pleasing not only to the Lord, but pleasing within self. It actually makes you feel better for who you are, for who you are, for who God designed. You know, we'll always be that one where we're a progress, we're a work in progress. You know, God is not finished with us yet, which means that we're going to make mistakes. We're not going to get it right all the time. But that doesn't mean that we use that as an excuse of not to do, not to bring the best of who we are. We keep working on that. We keep doing what we're supposed to do. You know, when it comes to the fruit of the Spirit, you know, it might be a place to ask the Holy Spirit to reveal to you what it is that you may need to work on specifically. Do you need to work on meekness? Do you need to work on kindness? Do you need to work on that self control? Do you need to work on that goodness? Do you need to work on those things? And you want to be honest with yourself because we all fall short. There's always going to be something to work on within ourselves to continue to strive to be Christ like. Now, we won't get there, but as long as we're running after Him and learning the tools, perfecting those tools, then we are positioning ourselves to keep going forward to be Christ like. Because here on this earth, it's not easy, but it's a lot easier when you put your marriage in a place of doing it the way God asks us to do it, than looking at the world and how it's playing out in marriage. Because we're seeing right now that when it comes to family, it's not playing out the way God designed it. We've got to get back to it. We've got to get back to it. God designed it in a manner of Christ being the head of the husband and the husband being the head of the wife. That's not to say that the husband is the dominant one. That's not to say that the husband is in control of, but it is to say that it is the order that God has designed so that we will give that respect that's needed because we submit ourselves to our husbands as we do unto the Lord. Now, whether you feel that that's not right, it should be the woman. We're the thinker. We're the doers. God didn't make a mistake. He didn't make a mistake with that. What you have to do there is trust God for your spouse. That's what's going to make the difference. When you trust God for your spouse, then you are able to show up in your marriage with beautiful colors. Let's say colors of those rainbows, those beautiful colors in the rainbow, the greens, the purples, the blues, the tranquil blues, the uh, uh, oranges, and those beautiful colors that hit your eye to say, okay, this is it. This is how I want to feel today. I want to feel sunny and bright, even if it's a cloudy day. I want to feel at peace, even when the storms are going on. It's all by choice. It's all by choice. So look at your marriage and see what colors you're bringing to the table. Are they colors that are going to be positive, energetic, soothing, calming? Or is it an attitude of stressed, anger, disappointment, discontentment, an attitude of unforgiveness within your color wheel? What are you bringing to the table? What are you bringing to the table that's going to be pleasing, that your spouse will want to eat from? Because you've heard that saying, the table is spread. That's saying God gives us all that we need to overcome all things of this world. And when that table within ourselves, which I like to use the fruit of the Spirit, is an awesome table, to use some of that over and over and over and over. And then when you want to do something a little different, you choose another part of that fruit to give. Be a giver of good. Be a giver of positive. Be a giver of what you want to get. Give in order to receive, put out what you want so that you'll receive it back. But then that's where that patience is going to be needed, because you don't want to take the position that I keep giving and I don't get anything back, because that's not the kind of giver that you want to be. You want to be a giver that is not expecting anything back because of who you are, because of that's just what you want to do. So when you receive it, then you'll look at that as a bonus for the day. Because God says, "Oh, no man anything but love." And when we love, we certainly should not be looking for anything in return. So I want to encourage you today with identifying your colors. What are your colors that put you in a place of peacefulness, contentment, happiness? Because no one can make you happy except yourself. Man certainly cannot do it. When you look for man to make you happy, you're kind of putting them on a pedestal and you'll be let down every time. You look to the Lord for your happiness, and your happiness should spill over into your marriage. So I encourage you to bring your color to the table. Bring your own colors. You know, I use the color gold for two as one forever because gold is the color of success. And that's what we want. We want a successful life. We want a successful inner being. We want a successful marriage. So I encourage you, choose your colors wisely. That's going to affect your marriage, that's going to help build your marriage, and that's going to help identify just who you are for yourself. So, this is Beverly, your spiritual healer of marriages. Until next time, be sure to pray for your spouse, pray for your marriage. And until next time, be blessed.